I literally just hit go live, so I don't even know if anyone can hear me. And I'll talk to the void. Anyway, I wanted to respond to a few people who kind of tell me that they've seen my nudes or bosom pictures I've sent Doug. And I've had a mastectomy. Facebook won't even let my pictures go on there. So if you do ever find pictures of my boobs online, or lack of boobs, celebrate it. Think, oh my God, they've woken up. Bring some awareness. I don't know. But anyway, I've got some tips if you have the confidence to send someone nudes. Don't put your face in it. Don't put a tattoo in it. You know, send away, but just don't put identifying features. Like somewhere, sometime, somewhere down the line, someone's going to piss someone off who's got access to your nudes, whatever. And they can say, oh, this is so-and-so. And they can be like, who cares? You can't prove it. There's like, I don't know. And like tattoos. I was raised, tattoos are bad. Bikies have tattoos. Whatever. So many true crime cases have been solved by tattoos. Like she doesn't get it. And then I'd be like, every bikie I met, my mum said tattoos are bad. And then they'd be like, this one means like, this to me means like reminds me of an amazing time I had with a friend, like whatever. And my mum was like, don't get tattoos here and here because they'll stretch and all this sort of thing and they'll look terrible when you're old. That's because of her experience with maybe pregnancy or whatever. None of my tattoos have changed. We've got different skin. Everyone is literally different. And I saw a woman, she turned out to be 88, and she had a tattoo on her thing, and I was like, wow. She was like, I didn't get it for anyone else. It's mine. I was like, you know, like I will ask if like everything I was told is not actually what it is. So I ask if everyone, and I'm from the generation where we didn't even have encyclopedias. So if I was told something, I wouldn't just accept it. I'd literally ask everyone that I encountered. So you get everyone's like my mum would say I had to eat my crust because it would make my hair go curly. Do you think I accepted that? And I was like, does she think that they are wrapping like a different substance around the loafy bit of the bread? Because it's the same, you pour the same mixture in, you cook it, like, and that's why it's important if a child, if anyone asks you a question, be honest. If you don't know, you don't know. Don't bullshit them. Like, they'll either think you're completely dumb or, like, I don't know, just be honest. And, like, I was having a conversation with my son the other day, and we were something that involved termites, but he couldn't word termites. So he said woodpecker. And he doesn't even have to say, you know, I'm not like, he knows we are not talking about a bird, but it's like the similar effect of like wood chip dusty things, you know? I don't know. Die! And please, if anyone sees Dolly, Dolly, that's Dolly. I mean, not that Dolly, but this is back like the story, whatever. Anyway, die. See, now I'm all like, but anyway, is there anyone there that just wants to chat? I've got to go do some courty things, and then I'm going to yoga, and it's, what's it called? Supercars Weekend in Newcastle, which I love. So, or if you want to remind me what I was talking about, Di, I can continue my rant into the abyss. This Muppets. Tattoos! Thank you. Anyway, okay. So I travel a lot, and there's a guy that has literally every person who meant something to him while he's been traveling tattooed on his ass. That's kind of cool. I mean, that's like his version of his journal. And like there's another guy that's got because I do admire like the the tattoos that are perfection. But that is hi. Like I love perfect things, like things that are planned out. But that to me is just like I want to get a tattoo, so I'm going to get what people think cool at that time or whatever. And there's another guy that's got like a picture that someone from all around the world has drawn him, and I love that. And I won't mention the country, but there is literally a place where you can go and their version, and I do love anyone coming in, but obviously anything shiny makes me lose my shit. But there is a place, their version of Taco Tuesday is you pay $5, you get a taco, you get a margarita, and a 5-minute tattoo. I chose to get and I have photos, whatever, back it all up. I chose to get a paw print on the bottom of my foot, like on the bottom of my toe. And they were like, oh, that'll eventually come off. And I'm like, yeah, and that's okay. As opposed to your anchor on your neck that will, what? Like, who made the smart choice? Like, they think I'm an idiot, and then, I don't know, like an anchor on your neck that literally has no meaning to you in your life. I was going for the Mama Bear paw print. Can't think of something I want permanently on public skin. Who thought it through? Honest to God. I don't know. Anywho, I have one. I don't know if you can. There's a dot. Can you see that dot? That's a tattoo dot. My mum lied and said she had to get, basically she never had breast cancer, that she came to my year 12 formal to tell everyone that she had. Anywho, I think I eventually caught on and I was like, right. She said, I'm going for radiation. And she doesn't know that every other person that actually had it, I talk to or have taken to radiation or whatever, and they put tattoos on so that they get the same spot every time. And so I was like, okay, cool, let's go get your tats. And she got in the fucking chair. That's how far she went. And she was like, oh, no, I'm sure they do it at the hospital. And we're all like, what the fuck ever? And there's no way he would have put a needle into me and then put it onto her. Like, if she actually knew anything, she could have said that. Listen, Tragedy Pimps Exposed. I have a vague idea of who you are. Don't even know who you are. But he, I don't know. Whatever. You're listening. I know. You can't chat back. You can't back chat me. I'm not even looking. If I said hello to her in a certain place, anyone I said hello to got blocked. And some people get it and some people don't. But doing good things over there. And I'd like to know what sort of pup. But she's not even, she's like in the past. And I'm like 2 days in the future. So somewhere, things will collide. Oh! I love her. Rachel. And you know, people were like, why didn't Platty stay? You said some great things. I'm like, Platty doesn't need to hear me. She knows I love her. Whatever. But I love Rachel. She's smart. And you don't, like, half the people, oh my God, I'm on Top Chat. And I've gone live straight from YouTube because I don't want to mess stuff up over there. I don't know. I want Dolly. Where's Dolly? Dolly couldn't chat last time. And I don't know why. But anyway, doesn't matter. We will. It's like that olden day thing, like Desperately Seeking Susan will put an ad in a newspaper and she might see it. Meet me at Battery Park at... Anyway, like I'm from the olden days. Water. And I'm from the era, I went back to try and show my children. Jay, I want you to be a mod, but I don't want you to feel like you have to be here. And I didn't want to mod you before I asked because I don't expect anything, blah, blah, blah. And I don't even know how to mod you right now. So do what you will with that bubble of... But I tried to show, I thought my favorite movie was Drop Dead Fred. And is that a yes? If that's a yes, I'm not asking you to marry me. I'll never. But whatever. The first scene is like Dude and Fred get a phone call. I want a divorce. I'm leaving you for my mistress. Look, why did I think that was an amazing movie? Or you go, I'm like, let's watch Gremlins. And then it's like, don't feed that. Like, what was going on back there? Don't know. But anyway. If there is anyone actually chatting, what was your favorite movie that you thought was something else that 20 years later you... I don't even know. The whole world's a mess. But anyway. Do you know... Oh my God, I can literally... Because when you're a kid and there's things you're trying to avoid, I can Dr. Seuss anything. And sometimes, somewhere, I'd love to just sit and be like, we all talk shit. Like, because sometimes you just need to... And like, sometimes I'd like to, like, we do a challenge. Like, we're like, no lie, one of my friends, we think it was some mistake that went, I don't know, 70s, 80s, 90s, not a lot of planning went into anything. Like, we are the people who, like, we're the reason why all the warning labels exist. Like, we were the ones that thought it was a good idea to shoot nail guns at our friends. And like, I don't know. It was just like literally no forethought went into anything. And it was like, the parents were like, if your friend jumped off a bridge, would you do it too? And they're trying to say, don't be a copycat. And then I'm like the one going, well, is it bushfire season? Is there a car coming at me? Like everything was just a blanket rule. So we were like, my mum was like, you're Robin with a Y. And my dad's like, be a Robin with a why not? And it's like, so maybe I would jump in a like copycat, whatever. And I know there's a few Aussies in the chat that get it. And I said something the other day and I was like, Australians are good at cars. And people would assume because you're a girl that you're not. We've got towns that are literally 5 days apart from, if you leave and there is literally nothing in between here and here, you've got enough petrol, water. We were. Are you at work, Muppets? Because if you're at work, I'm going to talk about you and how shitty a friend. And Rachel will get this, Muppets. You don't understand. I sent Rachel, you stay here. I sent Muppets a message the other day, and I said, if you don't hear from me by 3:30, and she should know that I've planned this, and I know true crime, I know everything. If you don't check in that I'm alive by 3:30, like just make sure whatever. And she was like, why? And I'm like, I'm doing school pickup. It's hot. And then she was like, how hot? And I'm like, well, in your degrees, it's 150. And she's like, whoa, fuck, man, whoa. And then it's like we were in that same chat, so it's not, and she whatever. And she goes, oh shit, I forgot to check on you. And I send back, we regret to inform you that Robin was found deceased in her car at 3:31 p.m. You basically killed her. Be a better friend. Like that's like, but like we just joke. And Muppets, watch the replay, don't watch the replay. You've probably heard everything, whatever. Patricia! But see, right, but it's not like I didn't go, oh my God, you should have checked on her. I made a joke. And she's just like, she just literally sends back howling, laughing faces. And it's not like, oh my God, you're a really shitty friend. It's just like, it is what it is. And I think I'm hilarious sometimes. But I don't know. People like, and I will, Muppets again. She was like, oh, really? Like from the last live, she's like, really great live, but you know that you should probably stick to one topic. And I'm like, fuck you and your shiny disco ball you rode in on. You know me. Every person that comes in, she said, did you have notes? And I said, no, I had it perfectly planned in my head. I'm like, maybe I need notes. And it's like, whatever. But she's like we know, I mean, I know exactly how everything could be better, but I have literally that much stuff going on that I can't learn new things until I finish this thing, which should be Monday. So hang in there. And we don't actually need mods because I don't think I'm hoping no one's going to be hateful and disrespectful because whatever. But anyway, yeah. See, everyone that's here, like Patricia's like, she mentioned something and I'm like, oh, okay, well, we had a case and it's like this and it's like this. And it's like, that could have been a year ago. And she'll be like, does she even still remember? And I'll be like, I'm absolutely working on stuff, but I don't have to say something to her until there is something. And Muppets, how dare I go live while you're at work? I'm like, I went live. I didn't even expect anyone to be here or pre-plan or whatever. I really didn't care. this is the time, like, I'm like offloading some shit here and telling you how much I love everyone, but then I'm going to go and enjoy the supercars. Hi, Muppets. Yes, hi. But I love the people that if they've got to go to bed, they've got to go to bed. I don't expect people to be, I'm the queen, be here. Rest in peace, Queenie. I was really hoping she'd get to send a letter to herself, and I was really hoping I'd get to live long enough not to have Australian coins with Dumbo ears coming out of the side. Like, are they printing the coins with the ears as an extra, or are they cramming everything onto whatever? You know, Pine Mountain, and Pine has the same. Pine has the same thing as me. We were chatting somewhere, and it'd be hi, whatever, and we'd chat in like good places, and then everything turned into everyone grabs onto drama and wants to get involved in it, and I'm like, repel. Like, if someone wants to come in here and tell me something about myself, they better have proof, because, and I'll show you why. Before the internet, before everything. Okay. This is 2001. And I literally had to track everything because you could be, anyway, you'll understand why. But this Monday, 6th of August, I've got the card. I think that's a calling card. This is a Met card because I got on a tram in Melbourne. I don't live in Melbourne. Are you Muppets? Or were you just hoping I'd die and then you could say, oh, my friend? Yeah, whatever. And like, you know, I can keep track of everything. And even if I didn't write anything, my dad and Muppet said something, I can't send you a present or whatever, and it's not anything. I said, or she's like, I don't know what to send you. I said, send me a postcard. Do you like postcards? I've got walls of postcards with maybe a small denominate, like a small value of currency with them or whatever. Like, I use postcards to track my like holidays and stuff, because my mum was the one that would destroy anything that I showed that I enjoyed, if that makes sense. So, and also to my father. So we had to reduce everything back to something that she found had no value. Muppets, you laugh. See, this is what she does to me, Patricia. She laughs. It can fucking happen. Ocean tide. She laughs. She doesn't understand. She doesn't. We are from the country. You can cook your meals on the road. And I'll show you one day. Maybe no. Today's bearable, but I don't know. And like ocean tide gets the, yes, Patricia. And Patricia, these people, Patricia, Rachel, and like there's a lot of people that are from Grey Hughes, and it got down to it, and like they'll understand. These are the people that answered my questions, and then I like ultimately I was like, why are they the only two groups of people that could answer my questions? And it's like they're the only genuine people, true crimers, whatever, that are here to help. And you know, it took a while for it to hit, and it's like, because I'd be somewhere and I'd ask a question that made total sense to me, and people are going, "You're weird. You ask strange questions." And I'm like, "Okay, I know I'm weird. Great. Tell me why you think that question is weird or I'm weird." And I was trying to learn how to ask the right questions, like to get the right answer. But then, like in Grey Hughes, and it was in Skeps, but he's like book smart and doesn't understand anything outside of a book, an actual book life experience. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just, it is what it is. But it's just crazy. And I can explain so many things, but some things will have to wait. But Rachel, like, I don't want pity. Like, eventually everyone comes out, and I'm not smart. I just didn't stop trying to freaking understand. And it's like, it's not intelligent. I'm not, like, I was good at school, and I'm what they call book smart just because I can read things once and I know it because you had to, as something icky. But one sec. Oh, how do I make my face? Hi, and I'm not going to apologize. It's just some things are really raw at the moment. So I'm not going to say, "Oh, sorry, I'm crying." It's like, I don't need to apologize for anything anymore. And I know that. So, but you guys are going to be, "Oh, she's a hot mess." Read the replay, Sarah. But I mean, you don't, like, Sarah doesn't even need to, whatever. But I was just trying to explain. People come at me when they can't, because trust and PG, trust and believe anything. If I present something to you, I have fact checked that 7 ways from Sunday, all the fucking ways that there is. Don't come and say to me, "I need to prove you right." And then when you can't win what you think is an argument, tell me that you've seen my boobs on the internet. You won't see my boobs. I don't have boobs. I've had a mastectomy. If you see my picture, fucking celebrate. Say, "Oh my God, the world's woken up and can understand." Like, you know? And I said to someone in a chat, "You want, like, I don't have boobs." And they said, "Oh, don't worry, doohickey, they'll grow someday." Like, absolute ignorance. And I was just like, she doesn't understand. And like, my mum is like the queen of avoid. I didn't even know that my childhood home was on the market. She sold it. She pretended to list it, sold it to someone in an hour for $2 million less than someone had offered her, because she didn't like that lady and didn't want her enjoying the home. $2 million. Do you know how much good she could have done? I mean, it's Australian, so it's like 1 million American, but she could have done amazing things. And Rachel, I was like, I'm such an ugly crier. And it's not necessarily that, it's that I would rub my eyes. So we're trying. Woo! Like Patricia. Patricia gets, and that's the people that get it, get it. And okay, I'll give you an example. My mum has been on a diet my entire life. I'll be 47 in April, but actually we'll be celebrating that birthday as the beginning of my actual life. So I'm turning 1 in April. I'll turn 100. I'll be like Yoda or Benjamin Button. Anyway, but and then she sent me a text message and she said, I've sold the house. I'm going to America. The real estate agent is going to start my car every whatever to keep it going. I don't know, whatever. And I'm just like, didn't even know the house was on the market. Like, and it literally wasn't. So, but I don't, numbers are nothing. Like, I have, my mum, like, literally, she was my mum and she couldn't play because she was fat. And the irony, she'd be like, she couldn't go on a hike with my dad because she was overweight. And she wasn't even, she was like a normal, healthy, sort of like a size 12 in Australia, which I don't actually know what converts to what. But I've been a size 12 and still gotten on a swing with my kids and whatever. Like, everything was just an excuse. And she was just in her own world, living it as whatever. She comes back from this trip, like the whatever, and she'd missed, it had been her birthday, which was on Father's Day, and my son's birthday and whatever. And she comes back and she gives she gives my son, who's 11, this pen. And she was like, he's like, I didn't know you went to Vegas. And she was like, oh no, it's an airport pen. So like, we have a running joke. We literally have, like, we have in my house or my office or whatever, there'll be airport pens. And it's like, do you have a pen? And it's like, I don't know, but there'll always be an airport pen. Listen, I'm ignoring you, and you'll know why. I'm ignoring who's you for now. But it was like, she thinks she's been to all the places that she has airport pens for. And she's giving my son an airport pen with a roulette wheel and all this, and he's 11. If she wants to be so freaking whatever, like, why? That's not appropriate. She went to China. She went to China apparently, and she hiked the Great Wall of China. Could not find one fidget spinner in China. She gave my son as a gift. Like, that just I don't even know. I don't know. If that makes sense to anyone, please explain. Now, you. Who's you? You looking at the screen? Who's your understands? Who's your, are you looking at, okay. Okay, we were talking before. Who's your, and I'm going to say it because she said it in chat, she's married to the lead singer of the fucking band that got me through the 90s. Don't Call Me Daughter. So many. Anyway, and they all came out at perfect timing. I moved out of home at 16 because she wouldn't let me report an assault because I'd forever be known as that person. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and she just thought that I'd take that, like, not go out and find someone that would help me, like, to not get pregnant and diseases and stuff. Like, she just thought I'd sit in my room and, like, I don't know, ruminate into misery or something. But anyway, moved out of home. And then at my year 12 formal, which is basically, I guess, your prom or graduation or whatever, she came and she said that she had 3 months, I don't know, say 3 months to live. She's very, very, very extreme dramatic. 3 months to live, terminal cancer, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, why did you tell me that then? She said, I hadn't seen you for 6 months. And it's like, I've got photos of me at your house before this. And then you find the photo book, or find the photo album. And it's like, why is she, hooting up a storm when she thinks she's going to die in 3 months. And everything gets figured out in the end. We don't need to go into that. But who's you? I even have and I've made a video because I have a video from the 1995 concert of Pearl Jam. But like she'd snap all the CD cases and whatever. But she found absolutely no value in shirts. She didn't understand it. So, like my dad, when my dad died, I think he literally had like no, I won't say that, but like an absolute shit ton of shirts. And I've got a photo and you'll laugh. But this, and she didn't get it. This is the Pearl Jam shirt from the South Pacific tour. And because she couldn't read it or she didn't understand, like she didn't bother, whatever. And she'd be like, oh, that's just like from the Samoan family, like side of the family or whatever. Like these are going for, I saw one for like 1,000 on some random thing. And I'll never get rid of it. I've worn this to bed. I've worn this, what is this? 1995. Is that 27 years? Oh, it is. And I was like, 27, and it's like 27 Club. And then I'm like, okay, why did all these people die at age 27? And then I was like, they probably felt so much pressure to be what everyone wanted them to be or to try and be. Patricia, hang on. But you guys don't even understand, like you will understand. My mum got every disorder whenever it became a thing on the DSM. Like, make that make sense. All of a sudden, like, and then I'm thinking, because I was thinking, why the fuck? My mum she made me do ballet for copious amounts of years. I don't enjoy it. Like, but it's got nothing to do with what I actually want to be in life. And I was like, why would she send me to 3 classes of ballet when she knows that my bum is never gonna this? And why was I standing at the back of the stage with a bandage on my wrist if I love ballet so much? Like, there was just a lot of shit that didn't make sense at the time. Yeah. And then you look into it, and I was like, she sent me to ballet because she knew I was shit at it, but it was in a time where people would whack you with a cane if you were doing bad. So she probably got a thrill out of that. And then you don't know, she told me that I had to, look, can you see this? Can you see the scar? I don't know if you can see that. I don't know. Anyway, she told me that I had a cancerous cyst and had to get that removed right now or I'd die and I would miss the concert. And then, you don't know until, like, you believe stuff. And then you get the internet and you find out that this guy, he's a dermatologist. And because you've got honest aunties, that a dermatologist doesn't deal with cancer. That's an oncologist. And you're like, why can I spell hypocrite at age 3? Why do I know squatters' rights? Why do I know like my mum would just, and then you're like, look back. And she said, I might put them out as text messages and not read them. Patricia, we didn't even have encyclopedias when I was a kid. I was thrilled when I have read every encyclopedia back to front, because she'd be like, what did she tell me? Schizophrenic? But it was like when she'd call me Sybil, and I'm like, what does that mean? It's like 16 personalities or whatever. And it's like, you're unlovable. And I was like, well, why is everyone else but you think I'm a delight, or she thinks, and I will tell you some fucking hilarious stories, but she thinks hilarious, like, whatever. Rachel, and I know this, and this is why I want to talk of Rachel. My story, this is like going back to the olden days. Think about it, olden days, whatever. But I live in the suburb where, like, next to where I grew up. Most of my abuse happened in this suburb, and I was like, this helped me figure a lot of things out. But some people got away with doing something because there was a date, like back at that time, if you live on Apple Road, everything, it's Apple Road daycare, Apple Road convenience, Apple Road whatever. They were doing it on a road that had a Apple daycare. And I'm saying, no. And they're like, no, you were just at the daycare. And I'm like, no. Okay, Rachel, I could tell you okay, my mum was like, oh my God, I love reading. I love whatever. And it's just like, fast forward, mum drags me to Norfolk Island because that's where Colleen McCulloch lives, who wrote The Thornbirds, which is actually, my mum thinks this is an amazing romantic story. It's actually about a man who grooms a young lady, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to, don't be shiny, listen, or me not be shiny, I don't know. But my mum was so intent on making me feel bad. Like we've figured her out. We got to Norfolk Island and she goes, oh, you've ruined everything. Your nail polish has leaked onto everything. And we're like, breathe. Like, she'd just make crap up. And I'm like, if she doesn't think I know how to pack by now, like, to avoid any whatever. And she was like, you're going to have to wear my clothes. And it's like, whatever, because Dad was like, make sure that what she's packed is something that you're like, we knew what was coming. But then she's in there, she doesn't understand how the world works. She'll just go, oh, did you know? Anyway, oh, yeah. Oh, here's kindergarten. Here's me, and I'm like, you know, they're the uniform. This is basically your uniform, right? Like, it's a tunic, it's like a modified potato sack, whatever. And kindergarten, and we're all like, there was 3 of us that were like, make them huge, like we're happy with potato sacks or whatever. Those 2 other girls, like, this is like, say, 1980. My mum came to me in like 2020. Oh my God, I just heard. Did you know so-and-so is gay? And I was like, yep, I met her in 1980. And then it's like, oh my God, did you know so-and-so went to, like, whatever country it was to change gender? And it was like, well, no, not specifically. Like, I mean, I did, but that's not the actual thing. Like, they are a amazing musician, and they've gone to a country that is what that country is known for. It just happened to come up that there was, like, that's when the whatever happened. Whatever happened. I'm like, I don't even care. Just you do you. But anyway, back to Norfolk Island. She's over there having her tantrum, and I'm like, I'm going walkabout. Long story short, Norfolk Island is an island. It's a long way away. They do? How exciting. Isn't that so novel? She thinks, oh, a ship comes once a month and offloads everything this island. going to need for a month. Isn't that cute? Like, I don't even know. Oh, let's go watch that. She doesn't understand. People are planning. She can't plan one day. She doesn't cook. She's never cooked. She's never done anything domestic in her life. Blah, blah, blah. She said I had to do cooking and sewing as electives in high school because she couldn't cook or clean or anything. I could because I had to pick up her slack. She's the, I don't know, like small world. Most of, actually, no, all the kids, there may be, I think there's school up to like, say, year 6 or like high school. And then all of the kids from Norfolk Island go to boarding school. She doesn't see any of this. So in the holidays, all those kids in the boarding schools are back on the island. I'm like cruising around, talking, and I'll show you a photo. Like, I wasn't, like, I've never been like drop dead gorgeous, but I was personable. I could talk to anyone. Like, I don't know. And she doesn't, I told her this, and it's like, she doesn't even know. She's like, this is her. Okay. Colleen, I don't want to say married, but anyway, her partner is an Islander, a Norfolk Islander. That Norfolk Islander has a son. Colleen didn't birth children, but she considers her partner's child her child. Something Mum will never understand. That kid, those kids, they're down at the hamburger bar. I could, like, my mum just, she didn't care. So they're like, oh, do you want to come to my house? And you literally don't. No, Rachel, and I didn't. But I learnt so much just because she was always pissed off. But that's okay. But I went to this house, and it's like there's no movie theater, it's whatever. You're there because you love the tranquility, you love whatever. Colleen was there to write books, and she wrote, now I'm more confused, but she wrote The Thornbirds, and I'm sure that's right. But Mum thinks it's a romantic thing, but it's a grooming thing. And I need to meet Colleen or whatever. And it's like, she's over there plotting how to get a tour to this house. I'm here talking to kids, one of which is Colleen's son. So we go to Colleen's house. And my mum's like, you've never been there, just because she doesn't think in real life, I don't know, things. But, and and we're like, oh, whoa, man, like, this is one of the places where I'm like, saw a home studio. Like, do you know, like when people go, I've got a movie room, and they're like, whatever. I'm not even listening. You can all go to hell over there. Not hell, but, chat amongst yourselves. But you go, oh my God, like a home theater that's actually like you're at the movies. And she had a walk-in pantry because you have to store a month's food. And I was like, that walk-in pantry impressed me no end. I'd rather have that than a walk-in wardrobe or anything. And like, that's something that my mum will never understand because she doesn't value anything that is actually helpful. Oh, I don't even know. I don't even know. But she just doesn't value anything or the effort that's put into anything. But everything turns out to be hilarious. And she still won't. Colleen died in 2015, but she still won't say that my story's true because she thinks she doesn't believe that my story could ever have happened because she still thinks Colleen never had a child. Like, and like, that probably doesn't even make sense. But anyway, it's nice in her world. But so this shirt is 27 years old, has survived, and but okay, and I'm going to tell you a story. Yes, Patricia, but I'll tell you a story. Like my mum has got 4 siblings. She's got a mum. She's got this. She's got that. Oh, okay. Hang on. A single stitch. What do you mean? Like a where? Where am I looking? Oh, I was going to say to you before, when my mum got back from that trip to America, I said, "Oh yeah, I went to Dad's memorial, like his whatever, to the not the graveyard, but like the crematorium." And I said, "Oh yeah, I went up on Father's Day." She was out of the country, and she said, "No, you didn't." Okay. And that my son got me this mug, and it says "World's Most Okayest Mum," and she thinks that that's like an insult because it's not like the dribble or like the "you're the most amazing," and it's like he knows that it's like okay because you're not going to change a weirdo's mind. And who's young? It's like overlocked all around the bottom. Yes, it's single stitch. It's like literally not even backstitched on itself. Oh, oh my God, don't they normally do? Listen, I've been sewing since I was 2. And you don't even know. Who's ya? I know. I don't need the money. I need the. Okay, and this who's ya? Who? She's married to fucking Eddie Vedder. She knows. She could have said this. I love who's ya. I've known her for well over a year, like chatty. She didn't even. The people that feel they need to lead with, "Oh my God, I'm married to Eddie Vedder," and then everyone's like, "Oh." She is an amazing person all on her own. And who's this one in Australia, there's one being sold for $1,000. But people that don't need like she's a amazing person all on her own. Doesn't need to lead with my husband's this person. And fuck off, who's ya? Sell your fucking husband. Dude. See, now I'm going to get cheeky with you. And she knows it's not even an insult or whatever because she's like, watch this thing about like it was called On Sound. But anyway, I watched that. And then she knows that I could go, "Ooh, I'm going to Google Eddie Vedder's wife and expose everything." Like, yeah. Muppets has got me. This dude, don't even. And my mum's like, "You've got so much wasted space with all these shirts." And I'm like, "Oh, Alice in Chains concert was amazing." Whatever. It's like, whatever. But like I could Google, I don't even need to, I don't know. Like she's the type of person that not like even knowing how much he helped when you don't have internet, Google, whatever. And she'd make me come to her house and not even tell me. And then I would like literally faint. And then she'd be like, okay, well, maybe she was like serious when she said like surprises are always a bit tricky, or maybe it's the blood pressure, whatever. I wouldn't be over there trying to pass on him. I'm like, I'd still be like, mad respect, dude, but don't fucking touch me. Like, I'm not like the insecure people would be like, ooh, she's single, she's gonna take my husband. And it's like, no, he's nice over there. Like, he is over there doing amazing things. I don't need to lust after anything of that. And I was thinking the other day, just because, like, I know she's an adult and I'm an adult, and Eddie's an adult because he was lied to as well, and he kind of gets a lot of the same things. Because I did know his life story, up until the point where it meant something to me, and then it's that go free, do amazing things, and do all the music. Like, not all his music means anything to me. It's just amazing music, blah, 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 blah. But there is something that I think would completely align with his, yeah, I know. But listen, there is something that I'm doing in Australia that may, like, it absolutely aligns with the way he lives his life, that he might be able to do in America or whatever, that would actually help people. Like, even I could write the whole thing about what daughter means to me. Like, that was about a woman who couldn't understand dyslexia. And it's like, it's pretty much, for me, it's a song about a woman that doesn't actually understand anything. So, but there's things you don't know until you know. But my mum is getting charges at the moment. So many things. But, like, that's just a whole nother thing. And, like, all these people that answered my questions are the people that helped me bring this to who's ya. My mum trafficked me and couldn't love me because I wasn't perfect. My mum thinks I should be doing better straight out of high school, when I wasn't allowed to pick my electives, which would have been woodwork, metalwork, practical things I didn't know. She wanted me to do sewing and cooking because she couldn't sew or cook. But I could. I'd been cooking for her family for 20 years. I'm not 20, like, I'm just rounding up, obviously. Like, when you don't even, like, people do not even know how stupid they sound. They've just been innate, like, they think that they're ruling the world. But I'm like, all these things. Because it got to the point where my family is just like, just let it go. Let it go. It'll all, because there's things you don't know until you know. And you're like, oh my God, that was weird. But you don't know why it was weird. Or a reaction, and she would literally, like as I said, she thinks eating crusts of bread makes my hair go curly. Anyone want to chat? Anywho, and it's like, why the flippant answer? And then you get to be a mum, and it can be anything. You like, eat the crust so you don't have to make you another sandwich. I don't have time. I want you to be full while we're leaving the house. Or it could be, that's the last piece of food we have for 2 days. Please eat it all. Like, Anyway. Okay. Hang on. Who's ya? We have to remember. Listen, I don't know how I could Google, but I don't even know how old you are. But I know you're kind of my generation. And it was like, Mum, how are babies made? The stalk. And I'm like, well, no, that's who you tell me brings the babies to the door. But I'm saying who makes the babies that the stork gets? Who, what? Like, that's how Cabbage Patch Kids were made. It's like weird. But then, because I prayed I was adopted, like, I am that one that was like, oh my God, because literally, there is a creator who she is just like exactly like my mum, does nothing but takes from the world, and she actually looks like my mum. And my mum, my whole life, she was like, "Oh, I'm glad you didn't get my chin." I was like, "What does that even mean?" And she's like and then she's like, "Oh, I'm glad you didn't get your dad's nose." And I was like, "What the actual?" And anyway, things come down the track later on. It's like, but she's just basically, that's nice. Did you know that you get pregnant lying chest to chest naked with a man? And that was it. That's the only way that you could get pregnant. And then you're like, is she really that fucking dumb? Does she not know, like, you know, I won't say, but like, she's like, oh, maybe I will say it. Fuck it. Like the whole connection between like dogs and like yoga and downward dog and like doggy style and like, and then my mom would be like, oh my God, she's pregnant, and like, or whatever, what so and so was pregnant. And I was like, bet they got pregnant on a kitchen bench though. Like, she's just, I don't even know. I don't even know. Like, but then I was like, is she literally this vague? And I am fucking adopted and she's never had sex or anything, whatever. But I don't know. I don't even know what to tell you. But it was literally anytime I asked her, it was either the cry. Okay. You know, when you have kids and normal people, like for my daughter, you say, okay, there's going to come a point in time where this is going to happen to your body and this is what you're going to need at that time. Like, basically explaining menstruation. You know, but you don't, it's, oh, my, and you don't even know. Like, there's some people that do know because it's fucking hilarious. But, just, I don't even, my mum is like, we don't even know. She's like that. And that'll all be whatever. But she basically values nothing. She thinks if she has an amazing head, a life in her head, that that is actual reality. And what, like, she, and when it came to when my dad died, and eventually Oh, it was in COVID, and we had the funeral, and there was 10 people there. And she said she wasn't going to live stream it because she felt uncomfortable. My brother lives in America. Listen, Rachel, you don't even know. Wait for it. Wait for it. My brother lives in America. He's been onto her whole life, but she thinks that she's controlling him. Anyway, someone was like, oh my God, they're going to track down your mom and they're going to have her up on the panel and expose you. And I was like, fantastic. Great. Expose me. She exposes herself. She doesn't know. I mean, I haven't hiked Mount Kosciuszko, but I've been to base camp with my dad and waited for him to whatever. But because she wasn't there and she didn't know anything about it, because we're all grown and we have lives and then meet places, I don't know. She thinks if she says no, that it's not going to go ahead without her, basically. But this will explain everything. And there's so much more to it. And it's hilarious. And it's not hilarious. And it's morbid and it's sick. But it's actually genius. But all in all, when I was a kid, my dad and I, we're going to have this like a company together, like doing good things, building things, fixing things, doing whatever. And I was going to, like, I knew I can build a car, I can do whatever with my dad. And I was like, we'll do this, get going on the business, whatever. And she was like, did everything she could to deter it, but didn't realize it was still happening, sort of thing. Like, I don't know. She's weird. I don't know. But anyway, my dad and I wrote a eulogy. And he said, hang on. Absolutely, Rachel. When my dad anytime, and this is like with CDs or anything, I'm like, oh yeah, like everything. I'm like, she's like, oh, you've got depression. And I was like, okay. And it was like, literally I don't, but if I think anything is joyful, she will try to ruin it. And I will tell you the fucking funniest story. But anyway, where are we? We're back here. And at the funeral, like, she literally has not left her chair. And it's because my dad's been trying to get her out for a long time, but she won't leave because she wants all this amazingness that has been built, and she wants to then destroy it, take basically 90%, 99 it turned out to be precisely, 99%. If something is worth 100%, like of anything, you're like, fabulous, that's complete. She literally took away 99% and devalued that. So she's in a fucking shit ton of trouble at the moment and she got away with it with some people because she would say, I absolutely value him. I know how hard he works. But, okay, so this is my mum. Oh, and hang on, excuse me. This is actually... Okay. So how much did that cost you? Cost me $20. And she's like, okay, $20. Okay, they died. They put $20 into it. They should be happy with about 10 back, yeah? Yeah. There was, and she doesn't even know, but She literally does not know what my dad did for work. She thought that he was just tinkering with his cars. Anywho, my dad's the guy that all the people that can't do come to and pay excessive amounts of money because he can do it, and they appreciate whatever. But there was an item, like a item of transportation, and she said, okay, he's spent $5,000 on parts. That's what he's put into it. Okay, so he should be happy with me selling it for $6,000, because that's $1,000, you know. And then you go, she's like, oh, that was a real labor of love for him. Oh my God, he spent so many hours, whatever. It took him over 5 years, you know, whatever. And it's like, you know, when she wouldn't sell it to me for 10 because she didn't want me to have it. But she doesn't understand that those 5 years, someone has paid my dad $300,000 to produce this item for them. And the fact that he himself has only put 5,000 into it shows you how savvy he is. But like she doesn't even know. Like, my mum could be like, she's like, oh, you're going to need lunch money. Here's $20. She doesn't care. It's not her money. My dad's like, he's like, what area are you working in? And it's like, whatever. And he'll give me a dollar. And in those days, you could go to a supermarket with $1 and get a bread roll, slice of ham, tomato, the whole tomato, a whole packet of cheese or whatever, and make a sandwich. Like we got a thrill out of not spending money or whatever. Oh, Rachel, and I apologize. I haven't been reading the chat, and I will go back and read that. But it just makes me laugh. And like, even Rachel, and I don't want to assume anything, but I know for a fact Rachel will know this. There's people that are like, they're like, oh, they get, okay, and you'll understand. They get outraged over people thinking the word, and I will say it, and I don't ever do it to single anything out, but anyone out, and I don't ever want to hurt people. And where the fuck is Dolly? Is she sleeping? Dolly! Sorry, I didn't mean to shout. I'm shouting at the chat. But, okay, someone needs to put me back on track. And that people tell me I'm crazy, and I was like, bitch, please, I've spent my entire, I'm not crazy. I am not. Categorically not crazy. I'm fucking weird. Oh, I said you'd understand. I don't know. I was trying to. Fuck. You guys, I read the Disney villainess. I had to spend my entire life doing what she wanted me to do and she was like, but I take you to Disneyland. And I'm like, precisely. Disneyland is like pedophilia paradise. Like, it's all, anyway. She doesn't even know. Yeah. Oh, she was like, you're a druggie, you're on meth. And I was like, I'm 16. I don't know, or whatever it was at that time. I don't even know what that is. And so she was like, they'd always anyway, went through a stage where I was spending $300 a week on proving that I wasn't on drugs. And I'm like I could afford it, but I found that was a waste of money. So I'm like, fuck, whatever. So I got a job where they literally drug test you to be able to have your job. Save money and get paid. And then mum's like, you should get a drug test. And I'm like, have these 3,000 for every single day of my life. You know, like, I don't know. I'm exhausted. Oh, we were talking about like the value of things. But like she literally doesn't value anything. She is still her stories that she'll repeat that she thinks are funny are literally from 1979. Like, you get to it's like, I just don't think she has a life. And she reads constantly, but it's all like the books, like dribbly, not dribbly books, but they like, you read them for like a distraction sort of, you know, like the holiday romance books or whatever. She literally has read every single whatever, like even the fiction non-crime. Hang on, that doesn't make sense. Literally doesn't make sense. I'm going to go get a water, chat amongst yourselves. Hang on, you can wait. I don't know how to mute you or pause you or whatever. I just want to get a water because. Be right back. So, I would just like, does it? Oh my God. Kind of does. Is that? Oh no, that's probably on my computer screen. And they're going to be like, oh my God, she's got dirty walls. They kicked me out of my fucking office. This was a different room. They've put me here. Someone will clean the walls and then paint them. I mean, someone will tell me when it's time to clean the walls and paint them. Oh no, Rachel, like that's Fizzle is another one. I was told Fizzle was a stripper. Fizzle didn't know. She missed that entire chapter of her life. I don't know. I don't know where she was. I don't know. But she's given, and it's happened to me my entire life, and I absolutely see how it happens. It's because I was given the impression, listen, I know Fizzle, and I'll explain completely. Listen, Fizzle, she goes, I said, TM is the most horrible human you'll ever meet. Fizzle goes, no, I've spoken to her and I kind of understand why she is the way she is. And I'm like, girl, trust me, she is the demon. And then this is what I figured out. I'm like, you literally don't see Fizzle for 6 months, yet she's apparently stripping, drugging, whatever. But it's those times that people have the opportunity to talk about you. And this is why it's ridiculous. Like, I would talk, people would know, but my mum would try and tell people her version of me. And this is exactly what they've done to Fizzle. And it was like, did you know Fizzle did? Do you know what? And this is hilarious. They're like, she's the biggest hoe. She's like, whatever, whatever, whatever. She sent me a message the other day and I was like, fucking what? I can't understand this. And she goes, use StreamYards. It's a good idea. And then I was using StreamYards. She wasn't around, and there was another young whippersnapper freaking people that actually know technological things. And then she was like, oh, I can help you. We help you in the back end. And then she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. That sounded so rude. And I'm like, she's wholesome. She's freaking wholesome, man. She is a good person. And I'm not trying to blow smoke up her ass, but like, she knows she's a good person. Listen, Muppets, we all know what we've been told. Ask Fizzle the stupid thing. But the thing was, they didn't want me knowing that she's a good person. They wanted me thinking that Fizzle is like, I don't know, basically my mother. Like, and they don't understand. I've survived my mother. So you tell me something and I think, or don't know it to be fact, or you tell me something you want me to believe, I'm going to ask the 47 sides why, like, what's going on, and figure out why they need me to believe this. Like, listen, I'm just, people in my real life, and this is, people in my real life do not ever question me, because if I say you should turn left here, they'll turn left because they know that with my complex PTSD, I know absolutely every route to get in and out of friggin' places, whatever. Yeah, dude, I can be a bitch. And hi, and she's another one that got a really bad rap. And you can make anything look like anything. You literally can. Like, my mum was like, I took you to all these activities and I stayed there with you. And I'm like, you took me to all these activities that I didn't enjoy, that I didn't want to be doing. You sat in the car and read a book. It was the fucking time of your life. It was the biggest waste of my time. She would pay me $50 for half an hour to practice the flute. And this is, I think we should have a bit of a Stone Gossard 1995 flute whacking party. Like, stick it up someone from band camp's a-hole. Like, I liked band camp because we did archery. You could literally like shoot something in your friend's bottom. I don't know. But anyway, hello, beautiful souls. I was told, look up Fizzle. I've known who Fizzle is. If someone tells you someone's something that you know that they're not, I find out why they want you to think whatever. And someone's like, oh, you got Fizzle's address and I'm like, absolutely I do. And they're like, oh, this, that, and the other. And then all I said was, super cute house. I don't need to whatever, you know? And then people start talking about cul-de-sacs. And I'm thinking, what is wrong with a cul-de-sac? You play cricket in the cul-de-sac. I don't know. And then, but they're thinking probably, look at that. That's terrible. Oh, that's one of those 5-minute tattoos. Supposed to be a wave. We're not quite sure what's going on with that yet. But oh, I don't know. And Dukes is evil. Dukes hasn't changed their name. They wanted me to go away. And I was like, I've done nothing wrong. Like, I don't know. Like, the good people are getting pushed out by bad people. And they want all the good people to go away. They needed Killer to look like something that he wasn't. And they couldn't understand that, because, and I said, he was literally the only person who answered the question I asked correctly. Oh, like, not correctly, but like from the level that I was asking, everyone else, the other 4,999 people, exactly, Dukes, but you get kicked out because you're supposed to know whatever. You know, the people, Sarah, like, for example, Sarah got in trouble. Sarah, sorry, didn't mean to single you out, but she got in trouble because she said something like George of the Jungle in a chat where George, like, this is an example where George was meant something to that creator, but Sarah knew nothing about it, if you know what I mean. Like, they assume that we know everything. And it's just like, how can they assume that? But it's because they're all over there spending far too much time worrying about what other people are doing. Am I making any sense? I mean, I make perfect sense in my head. It's just hard to. And that one of my friends was like, why don't you just read the chapters of your book out? And I was like, that's kind of boring. But I wanted to do a stream because I love everyone. And Dolly, I don't want Dolly to ever feel any kind of way. She couldn't chat last time, and I don't understand what that was. See, there's knee pads. Worst person in the world. Be drunk. They don't understand. They get scared of people who are doers because they're used to, if they don't think if they ask you to do something, they don't understand that it's going to get done because they do nothing. Knee pats is smart. I don't understand why she follows one of her certain creators, but she's always welcome here. Like I don't understand. Oh, and one thing they don't understand is if they're like a duo, or they say subscribe to this person or whatever, and then there's a divorce, they have zero entitlement to tell who they like, you can't watch them. I made you fall in love with them and admire and respect and all this, but right this second you need to turn all that off. Huh? I don't get it. Does anyone understand that? Like, it makes zero sense to me. And I got a message, let's just say message, saying that they'd seen someone who was in my chat, in another chat, saying something along the lines that my live stream was difficult to listen to. And I was like, okay, cool. And they're like, well, they were talking bad about you. And I was like, what do you mean? And they're thinking, oh, like, I don't even know what they're thinking. But I know that this person either means the fact that I was, hang on, we'll use a word that my mum called me at 2. Like the stream was completely neurotic. And it was like, it was a hot mess. And it's probably still going to be a hot mess. So if you can't fucking deal with it, don't watch. I don't want people watching or wasting time. If it annoys you, go. If you like me, subscribe, say hey, go watch what you want to watch. And I enjoy grey, so I want to find a time where I'm not doing anything, like, because if I'm at work or whatever, I just listen or I chat or whatever. Like, but I want to find time to keep doing what I enjoy watching, what I'm here on YouTube to watch. But I absolutely love knee pads. Listen, let me tell you something about me. There's a woman who gave me a recipe in like maybe August 2021. She had to change her name. And I was there and I said, I was in some chat, and like the woman had disappeared, and she was like, I said, I got the most amazing recipe from this woman in whatever. And this woman goes, that was me. I had to change my name. I can't believe you still remember. And I'm like, credit where credit's due. If it's a thing, it's a thing. Oh, but did you know, Brandy, Brandy is a very generous super chatter, which can be completely twisted. And I didn't understand, like, people were telling me stuff, and I was like, people don't understand. People who are e-begging, yeah, listen, but people who are e-begging don't understand how work things work, like earning your money and all that. I got 30K because I was sexually assaulted by a client. Like, that's not, I'm like, I don't want a reward for whatever, but it's like victims of crime. So I just give that shit away. It literally means nothing to me. And this is, I'm not trying to put anything on anyone else, but until someone came I gave Gray $300 one night in $100 lots. And I want to give smaller because they stay up there too long and people make it a thing. But from that $300, if you work it all out in the whole grand scheme of things and the fact that our money isn't worth shit, a charity might get 30 American, Gray might get 30 American, whatever, but I do not give a shit about that money. Someone emailed me and said, you shouldn't send Gray money. And I said, why shouldn't I send Gray money? Why? Why should I not send my money to Gray, who literally researches everything himself, spends 8 hours before his live show preparing accurate information for the live show because this is his passion. He wants to help people. He wants to help. Why should I not send my $300 from that sexual assault to a man who will send it on to Rain? You shouldn't send him money. He told me he told you you were wrong. I was wrong. I admire people who have the balls to tell me I'm wrong. Don't tell me I'm amazing because you want my fucking money. Like, okay. Someone said to me in a chat, I used to be cool. I've never been cool. I've never wanted to be cool unless it's like 150 fucking degrees, I have never wanted to be the center of attention. My mum said I'll never get married because I don't want to be the center of attention. My auntie knows I'll never get married while she's alive because she'll try to root my fucking husband. Okay? My brother got married in Baltimore, and someone was telling me, oh my God, they're going to stalk your brother down. And I was like, well, good fucking luck. They all live in one building, all fucking, it's like where all the white people live. It's like, I don't know. Like, she just doesn't get it. But, so, anywho, I shouldn't send that disgusting blob of money over there to somebody that will help because he tells me I'm wrong. He doesn't just say I'm wrong. He will say, you are wrong because of this. And I will go back and go work through it. And I'll try and prove him wrong, of course. And then it's like, okay, great. it's just like real people in my life, they're like, they know you don't ever say you look tired. People think it's an insult when it's actually because you're like, I don't know, because you're like working and doing shit. I don't know. Like, I get more of a thrill out of saving money or not spending it. Not, and here's another story, not spending what you don't have to, because I would rather give it away. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know. People just have no idea. But Brandy, the story I was told, she's laundering money for someone. She isn't. She's trying to support the people that she finds genuine. Like, I've cut back on a lot of people, and I'm actually trying. I mean, our Australian dollar's gone up, but I'm trying to figure out PayPal because fees, whatever. But listen, and that's they talk about other people's money because they want it, and they have zero idea. Like, they just think, do you know? Okay, someone literally just. I don't loan people anything because they don't value anything the way that I value things. So, and it might not even be worth anything in money. It's just like, I'm not sentimental because you can't be, but whatever. But but that lavender, it's not those people. It's not you. It's not people like you. Like, thrill out of spending you get a thrill out of spending money because you've earned that money. See, look here, she's asking to borrow like 1,000 American, and people are like, oh, 10K. But anyway, it's just, I don't need stuff because I've literally kept anything important to me since like 1990. And then people are like, oh, you've had that dress forever. It's like, so? Who cares? But here's an example. Hang on. And if there is anything that I say that you are determined to disprove, go right ahead. It's probably on Google, like, you can find it. But here's an example. As a kid, my mum would pay me $50 to play my flute for half an hour to practice. And there was one day, and remember, this is the woman that was always on a diet. She was like, okay, you need to spend half an hour doing scales. And this, I'm not an asshole at all. And people think I'm a bitch, but I'm just, it's factual kind of thing, or you've taken on some bullshit excuse and thrown it back at them in some way. But here's one. You spend half an hour, you go play your scales or whatever. And so I'm like, okay, scales. You know, technically you'll catch on. I'll get away with murder on a technicality. And I could, but it's not there are things that I have limits. I don't know. But, okay, go to your room, practice those scales. Timer's on. As a kid, I'm like, what the fuck is $50? So it just all went, into your little $1 school bank account or whatever. And I'm like, technically scales are like the notes up and down, blah, 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 blah. But who's to say that you can't play each thing with a bit of an attitude or 3 times or whatever. And she was like, after the half an hour, you're like, yeah, $50, whatever. And you're like, you don't even know what $50 is. And she was like, oh, that sounded a little weird or something. Like all those scales or whatever. And I was like, oh, yeah. They were feeling like a bit moody, like the ones that you stand on to tell your weight. And she's like she didn't even get it. Like it's like I've been parenting my mother since I was born, plus raising her and her family. Like the knee pads. I did piano lessons, and it's like, and then we'd get somewhere, and my mum's things, and they'd be like, okay, and don't. This is I actually love this dress, but I'm going to court, or I have to go to not court, but like official people and drop off stuff. So apparently you got to dress smart, whatever. But we go, oh my gosh, she's an amazing piano player. And she, sit down at the friend's place that whatever, and play this or whatever. And I'd be like playing chopsticks with like two, I don't, or like I don't even know. Like I could say you're playing your, and then you're like making it into your jammy whatever. I don't know. It's just literally everything backfired onto her. Like she was the one. We're from the panel van. Like people think if you go in a panel van, you're going to have sex, you're going to get pregnant, blah 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 blah. So there was this one time, and it was like I couldn't go to. Oh, I was only allowed to go to the work Christmas party with a guy who was a son of a woman she went to dinner parties with. But while the people are dinner partying, not a word, whatever they're doing in there, I'm in the garage with the guys talking about the cars, or not even talking about the cars. I might be playing pool or whatever. But it's like, she was like, okay, you can go with him. And we're like, okay, sweet. And my dad's like, he drives a Sandman, right? And my mum's like, oh yeah, whatever. Not even thinking. And my dad's like, okay, let's take out everything that's in there for like camping or your business or whatever, and put a mattress in there. Like, let's go whole hog. Let's get the fishing tackle box with the Vaseline, like full channel puberty blues. Make sure that this is my dad in on this, because my mum's a hoe, like a ignorant hoe. We blacked out the whatever, made it look like a basically mobile sexy place. So he rocks up to pick me up. She's having an absolute conniption. And we were all like, but you said. It's like, you literally said that this was everything. Like, it was all A-OK with you. But, and then we were in trouble because of her ignorance. I don't know. It's been a wild ride. It's nuts. Where's Dolly? Can anyone tell me what time it is in Dolly's world? Patricia Mima, my dad plays the harmonica, because it sings, and she doesn't understand. She was like, oh my God, and it's hilarious. I want to put it up, but it's got a song in it that maybe just have it like completely removed, but it's absolutely hilarious. Like, my oh, okay. Maybe it's hubby dinner. Yeah. See, we all know. And it's absolutely nothing that I could. I mean, I did it for 1,000 years. She doesn't even understand. Like I did it for my dad, and whatever. I'm not going to do it for a hubby, and I don't expect anyone to do it for me. I'll cook when I'm hungry, but she is like, but this is Brandy's like me. Brandy was so angry the other day, and she's like saying something with such kindness. Hang on. Listen, I don't know. There are some things I like if you're talking okay, music. My mum was irate that I got my son a drum set. And it's like, why would I not get him a drum set? He didn't end up we still have the drum set, but he didn't end up playing that drum. He plays African drums and bongos and all that. But he can go to any foreign country, sit on a beach, play that music, and absolutely everyone from every different language understands a beat. Like, I don't know. Okay, the flute, I have absolutely no idea where the piccolo is that I had. Like literally none, but it may pop up in some weird thing. But I know where the flute is, and we are literally going to have because in the end, it got to where my dad literally had to take all the pads out to stop my mother from tormenting me because it just sounded that bad. But then my mum told my daughter that she had to play the flute. So it's like, whatever. We tell the teacher about mum, explain that this flute is actually not playable, but take my mum's money, maybe have another student there, make more money. My daughter can do her homework in this time or whatever. Do whatever. My mum made, or like, it was all, everything's been like it's like the Truman Show. It was choreographed. My mum made my daughter apply for the performing arts school with this broken flute because she wants to be an animator, which I don't like even know. It probably encompasses a bazillion things, but what has going to performing arts school got to do with what she actually wants to do? Anyway, so that flute will be like somewhere. I mean, I know where the flute is, but I would really like to put it somewhere prolific. Somewhere that will, like, I literally don't even know where my mum lives, but I don't know. Signs and symbols. And I will play the piano if no one is there telling me I have to play the piano. And it's like something I can pick up her thing and play because they don't realize that if you're in a band and there is a time where you might be in a green room or you might be somewhere, you'll pick up your friend's trombone. You'll pick up your friend's clarinet, not so much because they're reed instruments, but like the ones where you can, I don't know, and you learn stuff. But I think she legitimately has not had any life experiences to legitimately judge me on. But I don't know. No, Patricia, I'm thinking like, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But it's like there are so many people that just don't ever, or they get told they're doing something that they're not, or there's like actual people that don't understand anything telling them what's going on in their lives. Like, that kind of doesn't make sense to me. And literally anyone can be anything on the internet. And that's exactly what, like, and I'll show you because I want to I'll do something for YouTube, but like dating and especially dating me. There was this guy and he was like, and he thinks it impresses me because he doesn't know what I've experienced. Like, there's been times in my life, like, my mum thinks that I've basically been a servant, but it could be, she was like, you didn't work for that person. It was like, maybe I did work for that famous person because I don't have to tell everyone that I'm working for that famous person. And she doesn't understand, like, I don't know, pretty much anyone, anything. And she'll be like, you could be watching a TV show and I'll be like, oh yeah, I went to school with him. And she'll be like, no, you didn't. She doesn't understand that I could have gone to school with them. There's only one like acting school at that time. Literally every Australian actor at some point or other is in every single sitcom or movies or whatever. And there is a movie, and I'm still trying to figure out if, like, I own the movie, but if I put parts or whatever up on YouTube, because I want all the beautiful people to see it. It's a great movie. But then it's set in a place where I lived. Shut up, Muppets. Don't. But as an example, there's like this movie. It's called Muriel's Wedding. And you could actually, shut up, Sarah. Currently looking for new mods. But Muriel's Wedding is set in a place called Porpoise. Oh, in the movie, it's called Shut. Who's ya? See? Who's ya's not dumb? Muppets is the dumb one. She thinks she's the only one that knows what's. Anyway, Porpoise Spit was filmed in a suburb of the Gold Coast. See, this is why I love, we're all smart people here. Muppets is fucking amazing. But I would say I lived, like, if I was to my mum, I'd be like, I've lived in Porpoise Spit. And she'll be like, you've never lived in Porpoise Spit. It's a town in a movie. Like, she doesn't understand that it's like a location in a place where I don't even know. Like, I literally did live in Porpoise Spit, but she knew it as its actual name. Like, and she tells me I'm living in a movie. Like, I don't even know. My whole life has been like opposite day, I think. I don't even know yet to the full extent. But my mum basically got away with a lot of things because she's saying all the right things, like saying she values my dad, all that kind of thing, because absolutely everyone else does value him with real value. But no, she believes she's coming at it as her understanding. She doesn't see that him down there for 12 hours working on a car is to save him the $5,000 that would cost to take it to the repairman. She thinks he's just wasting time. Like, this woman has literally never changed a light bulb. Like, and there was a guy that came on Skeps, and I was like, oh, I just like took the leaves out of the gutter and mowed the lawn. And he was like, there's no way a woman should be doing that. You should get a man to do that. And I thought, okay, so should I get the male solicitor that my dad did everything for because he couldn't? Should I get him just because he's a man to do stuff that he'll probably kill himself? Like, I don't know. Like, it's like people feeling sorry for me because I'm single. They think that I'm constantly looking for a man. They think I'm going to sleep with your husband, whatever. It's just like, oh, like they literally do not understand. I don't know. And they think, oh my God, I've had a date for every dinner. I'm the one, I'll go and I'll sit by myself and I'll read a book, but I'm learning. Or there's, you're noticing stuff that's going on around you. Like, no, but they don't understand. Like, if you go into a restaurant in a tourist country and you're a party of one and you take up four, like there's some countries you can go to, say between 6 and 7 o'clock, and there'll be a table of four singles, and you can be from all around the world, and you all learn something from each other. And hello to everyone, and I'm not trying to be rude to anyone, but who's like kind. Muppet said, stay on track. So I'm trying. But as of Monday, I should have some actual brain space to put into this and we can figure out what we want to do. I just want all the beautiful souls to be happy and chatty. Like I'd love it to be like a real life book club, but not like my mum's version. Yet shut the fuck up, Muppets. You're doing great. Stay on track. Yeah. Leave me to die in a hot car. Yeah. Whatever. And that, like Lady R. Oh my God, her name's Robin. So many Robins. Absolutely. It was a popular name at the time. It's a thing. You can look it up. See, I'm Robin with a Y. Like my mum with a Y. She's WHY is the Y that's in my name. My dad says, why not? But you will, Muppets, if you stop being a cheeky bugger. But I should hate Lady R because she's named Robin. And she also believes in the things I do. Oh my God, can you imagine how fucking horrific? I don't even know what, like, people don't, I want people to understand. I do have a video coming out, and I was like, I don't, people are like, you should have more compassion for Ziggy. And I don't even know what to say to them because her, me, whatever, her fancy house, Florida, all the money, all the family, all the nice things, me, blindfolded, dark room, whatever. Yeah, I should have compassion for her. Literally punch you in the I would punch you. Probably would. But anyway, throat punch. Not punch in the face. Throat punch. Larynx. You're under attack. Do that. Causes more pain. Like, I'm like defense. I'm not, let's have a fight for having a fight because you slept with my girlfriend. I'm like, I'm going to punch you in the throat because you're a bad person. Like, but anyway, I don't know if anyone saw it, but this, I don't have the visuals and all that sort of thing. But Ziggy's Ziggy's having an outrage about white boy radio lockdown or whatever it is. And I'm not trying to mess it up, and she's like, oh my God, I bet he's felon. I bet he's a felon. Oh my God, he looks like a felon. Don't you think he looks like a felon? Dude, it's a prison channel. Like, And she's like, oh my God, I was right. I'm like, dude, no, you were just literally the last to know. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, see, I know these people in here get it. It just, there's some things that just, I don't know. Like, there's a person, and Muppets knows them, and she used to get offended on my, like, because they're just so dumb. And I was like, Muppets, just leave her. Oh, just whatever. Yeah, don't, Ocean Tide, just leave that for now. You don't need to know. And what people don't understand, like, this girl, if you listen, I don't have to ask people, I don't have to demand of Doug, tell me her last name and I'll fuck her up for you or figure it out. No, Ocean Tide, you just literally don't need to know. And so it's never crossed you're not dumb. It's just never crossed your orbital path because it is completely irrelevant to anything that is in your life. You are not dumb. It's just something that's irrelevant to you. Like, yeah, I don't even know. But anywho, this bitch, and she is, because she's just I don't know, she's in her own little, I'm amazing, everyone tells me amazing. No one would dare tell me that there's a spelling mistake in my title that makes me look like a complete horse's ass for over 2 years when there's a mistake in everything. We don't need to know, like, no one has told her for 2 years. But you bet your bottom dollar Muppets has screenshot every mistake and sent it to me for a giggle. And when we have a spare minute, we might actually put every single one into a thing and we could call it I'm perfect. I'm just a scapegoat. I don't know. We'll work something out. We'll literally work something out. But she was like, "Oh my God, Doug must have given out my information." He didn't, or given it to me. She thought he'd given it to me. She had basically given out her first name, and then she literally emailed every male creator trying to grow her channel. And then I had people emailing me saying, do I have to worry about this dumb bitch? Because she'd mentioned my name on a live. Or she was trying to engage. She was like, someone get Doohickey here. Doohickey here. We're going to have a fight. And I'm like, I don't even have time for that. Let her go. She's trash. She's not too kind. She'll get over there. And she literally used a pedophile, having a pedophile on her show to grow her channel. And that's not my, I mean, I don't care about numbers. Like, I would rather do good things than, rant. I don't rant and rave. But I will probably make that video because it's hilarious. Like, if I made a mistake, I would expect someone to call me out. Or you can't even say, you go, you're lying. And it's like, well, not exactly. I'm telling things from what my point of view, what I experienced, and the information I had available at the time. Because Mum was like, you supported that in 1970? And I was like, yeah, because you told me things and then I learnt things. And now it's like, yeah, Muppets, we can't even with that. But she messaged all male creators. And I had the male creators' wives messaging me because, like, even if they blast anything I've written, I don't give a shit. I'm not here to go, oh, I got a message from this person. Oh, how exciting. I don't know. But I get the message and they're like, who is this psychotic bitch? And do I need to worry about her trying to take my husband? And they were giving me her last name. Like, I knew her first name. And I was like, oh. And then she'd do lives where she's driving. And it's like, okay, like, she's obviously not true crime because she doesn't realize that anyone could track she's like, I turned right here and it's the second left and it's a this and this and it's the this and this. I can tell you what time she poops in the morning. Like, if you're not true crime, you're not true crime. They're busy worrying about the dramatic things that they can make up. It's like, you piss Muppets off, she's going to track you. She's going to freaking skip trace you for days, like years, whatever. I mean, it's not even malicious. It's just like hilarious because she knows them and she knows me. Like, it's, I don't know. I don't even know. And I do apologize if people have said amazing things in chat. I've noticed some. Obviously, I can't do 3 things at once when it involves speaking, blah, 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 blah. But I want to be somewhere where there is no drama. We look like, and actually, we have not had one thing, like one person come in and say stupid things, which is amazing. Ooh, in 2 hours. Because Muppets was like, oh, did you feel like more confident speaking? And I was like, bitch, please, I can speak for 3 weeks straight. It's not that. It was me trying to figure out how to show you a picture or whatever because I wanted everyone to understand everything. And I was like, so for now, like, even I'm just like, give that shit up. It's not going to happen until literally the past 47 years have been wrapped up, which starts on Monday. So it's like, whatever. But hopefully, I mean, it will happen. End of April, you can all attend my birth. And you know what? I'm like the queen of social experiments. And I'll put this here because, like, literally no one will watch until this. But we'll make note of all the peoples. Watch this. We'll watch this. I'm like, literally, I felt like my entire life has been a social experiment. And so I am the queen of social experiments. But let's do this because no one's listening. I've got 13 people. Whoever's in chat, and I'll make a note later because I'll go back and read chat because I have missed things. But I'm sure Mops will point out everything. She's probably a running list. She does it because she wants me to be even better. Whatever. But let's keep track. What are we now? Okay, 10th of March. On my birthday, which I don't even know what day of the week that falls on, and I literally don't have a phone here because I just walked in and went live because I was kind of tired of people telling me they'd seen my boobies when I haven't seen them for like 30 years. Like, I'm pretty sure they're gone. I don't know. Make that make sense? I don't know. But how's the bolt? I know, Muppets. I'm giving you shit. It's all in your head. You're remembering every damn detail. But how's about, oh, look at that. The 15 that are here because they want to be, and we're at it. Like, there's other people that aren't here, but I know are here for genuine reasons. And I'm like, I'm getting closer because the chat's there. I should be talking here. But on my birthday, we can do giveaways and good things and nice things. And you watch who will pop in and try and win something just because it's free. Oh my God, she's giving away cash. Quick, 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 quick. quick. It's like, I see you. S'mores. But do you know what I'm saying? Like, my birthday is the 30th of April, and I don't know what day of the week that is. And it's probably because I live in the future. Listen, Christmas, we can get rid of that stuff. The airport pants, the shirts, the whatever. They need to stay here right now. Because you don't understand. I've been like my whole life. My mum, okay, here we go. I've been documenting everything because you need to track your shit with my mum. And she read like my diary and she was like, "Oh my God, you sat on the back seat of the bus with boys. Oh my freaking God, you're going to be pregnant. You need to stay off that back seat." Mum, the two-seaters are for the boyfriends and the girlfriends, passion on, and they're like she literally just assumes everything. It's just, I don't know. But anyway, I have I have diaries from literally so many eras, and whenever anyone noticed mum getting weird about that era, that box would go to a safe place so that it couldn't be destroyed. So it's kind of it's a 47-year mystery fuckery managed production whatever that literally has just come to a head. So it's like a lot going on. But we are meticulously organized and ready for whenever this was come up. April. And I'll actually be, God willing, no, not actually, God willing, the freaking, that's a whole nother story. But my mum had a car. She'd had it since it was brand new, a Toyota, back when cars were made of metal. My dad chose it because it was safe. My mum flipped a car on its lid. She walked out, had 2 scratches. She was pissed off because they had to use the jaws of life to get her out, which essentially made her car a write-off. And then Dad bought her another sensible car, which pretty much exactly the same, but a sedan thing. And then she gave me $55,000 demanding that I buy a new car right then, not knowing that there's like a 12 to 18 months wait. And she would think that I'm like super impulsive and quick. And it's like, dude, wait. And there's not even secondhand cars because anyway, it's a whole thing. Turns out she wanted me to buy a new car that I didn't need because she wanted a new car because she missed her windscreen wiper blade on the back of the car. She's 80 something. I live in Australia, the driest country that ever existed. What the fuck? You need a car with a back. I don't even know. Like, I don't even know. She's weird as fuck. And, okay, so I was like, there's no way in hell I would ever spend that much money on a new car because it loses value, whatever. And so I eventually found a car that was reasonable, wasn't 55,000. I did all my research and all that sort of thing. And I got $10,000 taken off that price, plus like copious amounts of extras like free, car mats or whatever. And I was paying cash, so they weren't able to charge interest, so they weren't making money. And I was able to walk out of there with essentially, like, say, $60,000 worth of car for 40. And it's like, we call them SUVs. I don't even know how to explain it. But my mum went to the same company and bought their smallest, like the like, I don't know, like the tiny. It's like the Toyota Yaris, but it's literally like if you have an accident, you're crushed because it's like it's like car, whatever. This is this, okay? It's not a sedan. A sedan has, and Australians call them different things too, but a sedan has the compact. Yep, like a Holden Barina. Do you know, like, a sedan is the small car, but it has like the engine bay and then the boot. We call them a boot. You call them something different. Anyway, no, like a teeny tiny, like a Matchbox car that ate another Matchbox car, and then you drive it. Like tiny. Think tiny. Like a Mini when they first came out. Like, okay, you've got it. Like, it's okay. Hang on. Like you're driving this, but it's got wheels. Like literally teeny tiny. Yeah. Okay. My mum used to drive like a 1952 Fiat. But okay. So she got that. She paid $55,000. Which is more than the recommended retail price. How the fuck does that even happen? She literally learned nothing. Well, lady funny thing is, she ordered it. She did, and she's ordered it thinking that she can go in there and drive it out today, or it's getting picked up at the end of the week. This was her like last year, end of last year. It's arriving like mid 2024. She doesn't understand the whole computer chip business, like the whole delays in the world from the stupid people in the lab in Juba eating animals and whatever. Like, and she thinks I'm impulsive and that I can't wait things out. Yes, Auntie M, she's 80 years old. Oh, hang on. She may be 81. Oh, she'll be 81 this year. I don't ever know. I'm not ever at the events. There was a certain time I got whatever. But she leaves the country for any time where there might actually be any emotion or whatever. Like, I don't know. Yeah, she's like the queen of avoidance. But anyway, she'll get hers. She thinks just because she's not there or involved or whatever, that it's literally not going to happen. Like, if she was invited to a thing and she said no, she thinks that they'll cancel the whole thing and it will never happen because she's not there. But, like, as an example, I had, like, my aunties had to tell me, someday or other you'll get your period. You might be at school or whatever, all this sort of thing. And they'd be like, when they'd tell you stuff. And then when I eventually got my period, which I can say because Americans use period as their full stop, end of sentence. So I'm not being all too much information-y here. I was like, oh, look, Mum, I've got my period. She cried. Cried. I don't know why. Probably just didn't want to talk to me. And then brings out a belt with things that go down that will attach the pad. I don't know, like picture 1950, I don't know. And so I was just like, what the actual fuck? And my aunt's like, yeah, because she had she's a hysterectomy at some point. She's oblivious to the fact that there's adhesive on pads now. Like, these pads have wings, man. Like, they go under, they go over, they go, I don't know. She's still thinking that people are wearing like belts from World War. I don't know, like the land before time or something. Like, literally, I don't know. Like, I don't know. And you'll understand why I know stuff. It's because I had to find it out from somewhere. We didn't have Google. We didn't have encyclopedias. They came later. And I'm literally from that era where the kids bought, like, babies just turned up everywhere because they were taking them off the unwed mothers or the women who had been abused by the churchy people and all those ick monster elitists. They were taking those babies and giving them to the people that didn't want to ruin their figure and people like that, you know? Or other people that will then exploit those children again and again and again. And it got to the point where I'm like, does my mum not understand that the stork is a bird? Like, the dude at the front door in the suit, not a bird. Like, I don't even know. Like, I was just lied to and expected to eat it up. It's like, and she's a teacher, and literally the only one that's ever told me that I asked too many questions. When you're 2 and you know literally nothing, that's how you learn. Shouldn't a teacher be able to teach? Like, I don't even know. Anyway, I have to go because I have a meeting in 25 minutes and it will take me 5 minutes to drive there. Listen, Lady R, and this is, if I'm messaging with Muppets or whatever, I'm like, all I have to say is Hunter's awake, and she knows that she will not hear from me again until after school drop off, unless it's like oh my fucking God, they've found Summer, like, or something like that. Because, like, she'll be like, possibly like, what's today's topic? But it's like, okay, so apparently we're going to learn about chickens today. And it's like, sometimes my son is completely wrong, but I don't need to go, you're wrong. He's like coming at it from his understanding. Like, I don't even know. Like, there was a guy screaming at a child, they should know how to do that. And I'm like, why the hell do you think that a 5-year-old should know how to change a fucking tire on a car? Because I know how to. I'm like, dude, I am that person that will literally tell people that they're being stupid. Like, you can't get mad at a 5-year-old because they don't know what you know when you're 40. Like, make that make sense. And this is one thing. My life has been a whole thing of making something, like, trying to make something completely ridiculous make sense. And that's one thing Like Benny always says, make that make sense or make it make sense. And I'd be like, okay. It was like, why do they need me to think Fizzle is like a stripper? And why do they think that being a stripper is a bad thing? Strippers sell time. They market themselves. People pay them for something and they get nothing except a memory. Strippers are brilliant. People underestimate things that they're told are bad. Like, I don't know. And I'll tell you another story. Like, that's for another day because I've got to find out what I'm actually allowed to say. But stay amazing. I won't mention my birthday party ever again. Like, we know who's good people, but you just watch who will be in there. And no one will even have to say anything. But there'll be people in there that are the ones that have said the worst things about me, anything, whatever. And one of those worst people was like, oh, I've seen you put a comment somewhere in Benny's, or you put a comment somewhere. Does that mean your opinions changed? And does that indicate that someone's guilty or whatever? And I'm like, nope. Just got to the point where I'm going to watch, like there was a time I wouldn't watch Benny because anything he'd say was not relevant to what I'm trying to figure the fuck out in my life. But there's a lot of things, like, you'll understand prolific when I tell you the whole fucking story. But there's so many connections back. And I've literally been trying to make it make sense my entire fucking life. So things that actually helped me put everything all together. But anyway, and dude, I tried 2.5 hours and I can't see Dolly, and I need her to know that she is loved because someone's trying to make her feel some kind of way, and that's just not fair. So if anyone does see Dolly, tell her, like, I don't know. Even if you say, if Dolly doesn't even know who you are and you're like, Dewey was looking for you or whatever, she'll know. Like, and she is loved, and there's people trying to tell her she's not. Dolly is literally who, if I birdie hi, like, she's who, like, and I know she's had bad things happen, but I would love to be the person that wanted to have the meal on the table for my husband. But I think it's because we figured out now is because my mum never did that, but I would feed my father. So I feel like I've done it my whole life. So I'm like, I'm going to those all you can eat buffets and whatever. Like, I literally cook. I cook every meal because my mum raised me on, like, when she was cooking, it'd be frozen dinners. And when she was cleaning out her freezer, she was like, do you eat frozen meals? Literally everyone I know knows that I will never eat a frozen meal. So it's like all the hilarity coming back. Anyway, so it's supercar weekend. I'm going to go and enjoy that. Do whatever, watch whatever. Like, I'll be watching Gray and a few other people, but maybe I'll make a video. I don't know. I won't be able to go live because I just want to enjoy this without having to, I don't know, think of anything else, because it's just been a constant brain fuck my entire life. But I love you all. I will not, I mean, I don't not love the idiots, but I love the good people. And I'd love for the idiots to be better people, if you know what I mean. Anyway, and there's people will pop up, and there'll be people with names that you don't know that I'll know, but they're from somewhere and they're hiding from cranky parents that, look, you're not mean. You're just not easily swayed. You won't be going, oh, yes. Like, I don't know. Stay strong, stay individual, stay beautiful. If you know you're a good person, don't let anyone else tell you you're not a good person. And remember, if if you ever see someone in my comments saying, oh, I saw your boobs, tell them, fantastic, where? Let me know what was the first site to allow mastectomy videos. And that will shut them the fuck up. And hopefully people will stop with the BS. I'd left Doug way before that. He put that out because he had a tantrum and I freaking laughed. And he said, you laughed at how you destroyed my channel. And I'm like, bruh, I worked on your channel. I was trying to grow your channel because I thought that was what you did, you know? But he had a tantrum. I put 3, you're a fucking child, clueless, blah, blah, blah. And he took that as a sign that he could go and make up that I'd sent nudes because he was going to expose all them other people. It was like, whatever. Sometimes you just got to let the idiots be idiots and do what they need to do. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that. Someone was like, why don't you get a lawyer and do this and do that and whatever? I did. I just don't need to blast it on YouTube. I'm patient as fuck. I could have waited for something. I could have, he has to have this served now. I was asked, can you please wait? We are looking into a bigger crime that he's involved in that but like if I was having a tantrum or like if I wasn't a normal person and I was like, no, my thing has to go now and not wait a year, it's the same result for me now and then. I mean, like I could have done it like now, waiting a year, I'll still get the same results for me, but Doug will literally be taken off the internet if I'm not like a tantrum, stampy, whatever. And I have told people like exactly what I've done and whatever. And I didn't even realize some things. But go have a look. Doug hasn't been here for 8 days. His little Sherry Papini 2.0 over there got me out of the way so she can have Doug because she thought that I'm as stupid as her that I will give up my entire life and rush to America for a guy who literally just got his first home at age 40. Like, I don't either anymore, but I modded for him for a while. But like, and when I say Sherry Papini, I mean crime and boobs bigger than 3 heads. I don't know, got the, but Sherry Papini is that one that branded herself with the freaking iron from Hobby Lobby. No, it's not Hobby Lobby. Is it Hobby Lobby? No, anyway, it's on my bucket list. But some of y'all are from that era. But anyway, patience. Like, I'm not gonna, even if someone came in here that I didn't like, it's like, who cares? Like, oh my God. Hang on. So what is, see, Muppets is reading this and she'll be like, okay, so maybe make a community post about the tattoo thing. Whatever, like, I don't need to worry about Doug and get offended on other people's behalves and there's all that sort of thing. I'm like, I know I'm just waiting until Muppets goes, oh, did you see? And then it's like, oh, okay. And then you call and it's like, okay, things are happening. So patience. Anyway, back to, oh, someone block Lady R with that karma shit. We don't do that in here, even though my profile picture is, karma written down my back. Get her out of here. How dare she? What the fuck? Sarah, I'm going to unmod you, Sarah, and Muppets, if you don't block that Lady R whose life ethos pretty much aligns exactly with mine. Get her the fuck out. Robin with a Y. She's trying to copy you. That's not her name. And scene. Oh, that's like one of those. I just found filters on something the other day and it was like. And listen, trust. If you see someone talking about me, like, I literally don't give a fuck. And like, if someone's going, oh my God, she must be so bothered, and you see it, I don't expect anyone to white knight for me or whatever. Like, that's not what this is here. But the people like Muppets, if she sees someone going, oh my God, she must be so bothered by someone thinking that she's on meth, after Muppets recovers from the eyes rolling back into her head, she'll be like, she literally does not care. Like, and I'm the one that gets to work weekends in, it's like, when you have to be, or like mum's like, you're a drug addict. So I'm like, whatever. I can work demolition. I'm qualified up the fucking wazoo because I needed to try and explain things. And I will take every free educational experience available just to try and just like solve my life mystery. But I'm qualified in demolition. They drug test you to make sure you're not just doing it to like relive childhood memories of growing up in the 80s when you did a bunch of poo. But I'm the one that gets the call, can you come and do this work on a Sunday? Because everyone else has been out on the drugs. They won't pass I'm doing the whole damn job. I'm getting that, whatever it is, for the entire job, because everyone else is like a little bit hungover or something. Whatever. And if you see someone here that's like watches someone that you don't like, leave it. They're watching them for a reason, for something for themselves or whatever. Just don't think anything's a thing. If you see someone in here say something and try and twist it, that's just because you don't understand what they're saying. Like if someone says she's difficult to watch, it could be something resonates with a story from them. They aren't used to someone that talks this much or they don't understand that some things can't actually happen in the world. I don't know. Like people literally only know what they know, and they don't know anything different until they know more. Okay, Sarah, do you remove the socks for any part of that doing me and the smoke enjoyment after? Don't need to know. Goodbye, beautiful people. I literally could talk for 3 weeks. And look, we're changing the Cecil, go to a different color, but they're all coming off. Anyway, never be perfect. Probably, I'm not going to spend 3 hours trying to be perfect to come in here and tell you anything. If you understood Australia, you'll understand heat, humidity, whatever. And I don't know. if you're actually interested in anything I had to say, you can always Google it or ask me another question. Like just don't talk bad about what you don't understand. Like just try and if you're interested in figuring things out, you look fantastic. I'm like, it is what I don't wear makeup. Oh well, no, it's too hot. I won't put foundation on, but I'll mascara and whatever. Okay, Birdie, we will have an amazing. Okay, hang on. Muppets. We'll write. Okay. Box jellyfish. And don't test me because I can tell you, Sarah, you can block her. You can. There's a new. Put her in a time. Can you? Oh, Sarah, can you put Muppets in a timeout? Muppets. No, seriously. Sarah, can you put her in a timeout? Go on. Go on. Go on. Oh, look at that. Suck it, Muppets. We'll get back to you. Actually, I'm going to end. No, I'm not. You want to play? That was kind of fun. I'm not going to lie. I will not lie. And what? Look at that. See? Everything's a fucking performance. It's all a play. I literally found that genuinely amusing and I felt gratification from that, from all the shit that Muppets has ever done. And Muppets is a fucking legend. And we hate, this is funniest thing, we hate talking on the phone, both of us, like not to each other. Like we never literally talk to each other. And I've been on her Facebook and I could have gone through and stalked. I didn't know what she looked like. I didn't care. Completely irrelevant. She would have known some things about me and I sent her like random shit. And I sent her a picture of like my stomach or something once and I was like, my mum literally doesn't understand how she doesn't understand dieting works. Like my dad and I have always worked and you eat food to give you energy to do the work. Energy in, energy out. How it's the basic piggy box principle. I don't know, but she would say, I don't know how these guys eat so much and stay so thin, then call us a meth head, then be on a diet for 60 years. I became a personal trainer, so then maybe she'd understand it. Like, she doesn't understand how ridiculous she looks living with me and my dad and not understanding. She thinks if you don't eat, like, a fried food, you won't get fat. But the 3 kilos of chocolate behind the lounge chair, if no one knows about that, then there's, like, zero effect on, I don't know. No, like, listen, I've been in a fucking box my whole life. I have got, and you will laugh, I'm trying to get like all of the actual shit that we've kept to figure this shit out over the entire years. And there's so many boxes. There's boxes like with like photos from eras and all that sort of thing. But there's so much. And then I became like part of my work as a professional organizer because not what one person says to you is going to be what works for everyone. Like anyone can be a carer, but if you're getting paid $50 an hour to take your client to say, this is one thing that actually happened, and this is why I'm great with disability people, or not disability, they're like, I won't even say that. I'm like, This is how I'm good with working with the amazing people that stupid people think are less than. Like, we've got to find a word for all this. But, my mum would be like, I can't reach the top shelf. You got a person in a wheelchair, they're going to be like, man, I'm going to get some rubber bands and get put some 10,000 pencils, and we're going to try and make this and knock it off they're the fucking amazing people, right? Don't even know. Anyway, one of my clients, and I don't want to, it's how I speak, but there'll be someone that'll be like, oh my God, she's having a go. I'm like, my client is as gay as fuck. All those stereotypical, oh, she's gay, she's got short hair. All the things that society, whatever. But she's got no shame in being gay. But because our carer thought that was wrong, they would not take her to Pride. I don't know. Something felt a little bit off. Like, this woman thinks that because she doesn't agree with it, she doesn't realize that that's fun. Like, that's her. She's getting out with her people. Like, literally, there's a once a year that all of the amazing people who are brave enough to live their truth, they come together once a year all together. Like, obviously there's other bits, but this is like the entire community. And you want to stop her from going to that once a year when she's literally judged the rest of the year anyway. You want to take away that one night where she can literally let her freak flag, everything else we say, let your freak flag fly. But it's like, I'm like, be who you are. I admire everyone who has, and even just like if people are telling you, we need a profession where people literally go around and remove sticks out of people's asses. Like, people need to get a fucking life. And if you're miserable in your life, don't ruin anything for the people that know what they want and want to be happy. I don't know. I'm going to go now because I'm supposed to be there in 1 minute, but they know me. That's my clients they know what day of the week I'll be there, and they know the time frame. I'm not going to be, I will be there at 10 o'clock, because if something comes up at 9:30 that I need to take care of, for my son or whatever, I'm not going to be, I'm going to be working that out for my son. I don't want to be, oh my God, sorry, I'm going to be late, and trying to make up an excuse and whatever. But box jellyfish, we can relate this to the time that my mum sent me, and I can prove all this. We got photos. Now we got drone shots because she sold the house. Anyway, she sent me to, she told me that it was a great idea for me. Small frame, like now I might look strong, but I can lift anything on my own because you have to. But she said it was a good idea for me to take the windsurfer out into the middle of the lake with the big sail, not the one that was made for me, but my dad's big sail, because I'm just like my dad, out into the lake. When I dropped that, like when the sail drops, normally you can pick it up, whatever, and it was too big. It was already too big for me to pick up, and then with water on it or whatever. And I'm sitting there and I'm surrounded by, like, I couldn't jump off and swim to shore. And I could have. It was like literally, I could have swum. I have swum across that entire lake. So I could have jumped off and swum in and let the, like, the windsurfer would have popped up somewhere. Someone would have known it was my dad's or mine, because you're like, oh, you look at it, oh, that's John, either by the number or the color. Someone would have returned it. I could have jumped in, whatever. Jellyfish, poisonous ones. And I'm just like, and it's hot, and you're like, your shade is there. It's just a whole fuck up. But this is how I started my learning of jellyfish. All right. Hopefully, I'll be able to do a live. Maybe 3 days time. But right now, I'm going to do stuff and then do other stuff. And then I'm going to be like, with the supercars. And I don't know. We do have like international entrance, not like go in somewhere, but people that have joined the whatever. And gently remove sticks from asses. And do you know what? I'm going to stop, because otherwise I'll be like, whatever. But if you ever see me post something and it's a large, extremely large woman, don't go, oh my God, she's fat shaming. Think, oh my God, here is a woman who everyone wants to shame because they think fat's awful. They don't see this woman that can just enjoy life no matter what. Anyway, but she has this, I'll put it up as a short or something, but she says it so beautifully. Oh, and that's another one of my favorite sayings. Like when my mum said to me, she was like, you better not come to Christmas this year. And I was like, whoa, now that's what you call a dry root. Because back in the day, they were like, if you have sex with your clothes on, that's like a dry hump or something. Sometimes you can still get happy vibes, whatever. I don't know. But I'm always like, harsh. Woo. Anyway, they want to talk about my fingernails. You can tell them about my tattoo instead. I don't know. Go out, be you, be fabulous. Do whatever you want to do. Don't kill people. I don't know. Bye. Oh, look, this is why you get the funny business. Why is that a 2-step process? And bye.